So the inspiration for my project was I was actually talking to my cousin who lives in Cincinnati, and she was talking about this directory that they have in their science class where they have to contact alums who have STEM careers. I was like, that's super cool. Like, why don't we have something like that here at Prez? Because we are so connected to our alums, and I was like, that sounds like a really cool idea. So I decided, why can't I be the person to close that gap? So I decided I was going to do that for my SIP project, and I'm also interested in STEM myself, so this is right up my alley as I want to do something in the STEM fields when I get older. And then I also wanted to do this because I wanted to give Prez students the opportunity to get a leg up in STEM careers if they're interested in it. So it gives them the opportunity to try to network with someone who might be in a career field that they're interested in and just give them an advantage in a male-dominated field. So my process, I basically have two parts to my project. The first one is collecting contact information. So these are some questions I kind of had to ask myself and work through to be successful through my project. So I was like, where am I going to put my alum info, the contact info that I've collected from these alums? I eventually decided that I was going to make my own website, and I did that through Weebly. I will show that later. And then I had to decide, how can I put people's personal information out on a public website? So I had to contact a lawyer, and we had to figure out how I could do that through a Google form and get all their information and make sure that they actually agreed to be a part of my project. And then I had to ask myself, how am I going to contact alums and reach out to other women in STEM? So this was quite the process. So first, I went to the alumni office, which they were so helpful. Like, I cannot say thank you enough to them. So the first thing, it was, I guess in November, and they were like, oh, reunion weekend is coming up. And I was like, yes, that's perfect. I'm so excited for this. I'm going to get so many names. I got one name. And it was my sister's friend. So that was a big disappointment at the very beginning. But from there, I rebounded, and with the help of the alumni office, they sent out this mass email to all of the alums they have registered and contact. And from that, I got 30 responses. So they sent the email on Friday, and I came back to school on Monday, and I had 30 responses. I was so excited, and it was awesome. It made up for how disappointing the reunion weekend was. So I definitely had some highs and lows in my project. And then, as I said earlier, I used a Google form to collect information from people. So the second part of my project is organizing a panel. So I knew from the beginning that if I got these people's contact information, I couldn't just stop there. I had to bridge the gap between them having their information and knowing who they were and bring them to Prez so Prez girls could know who they were. So I asked myself, how am I going to set up this panel session? I had to set a date, I had to find a date and a time and a place and an audience. So Prez girls could be there, they could listen to them, ask their questions, etc. So I finally got all of that set up, and then I had to decide, who am I going to ask to be a part of this panel? So STEM, there are 4 parts of it: science, technology, engineering, and math. And so originally I was like, I'll have 8 people, 2 people per each category, but working with professional schedules doesn't always work out like that. So I ended up having 2 people in each category except math and technology, but I think it actually worked out for the best. So I had 6 people total for my panel. So I had the panel on March 20th. It was during the middle of the school day. It was during their lunchtime. I gave them Panera for coming. So my panelists were Lauren Ball, who's an actuary, Lindsay Strautman, who is a microfabrication engineer, Brittany McCombs, who is a network security engineer, Katie Baird, who is an account manager for a toy company, a large toy company, Bethany House, who is a pediatric nurse practitioner in emergency medicine, and Emily Fritz, who is a water scientist. So half of the women were Prez grads, so that was super awesome. And I was really glad that they could come. They were awesome speakers. I think everyone really enjoyed them being here. And so here's some pictures from the panel. We are talking. And there's everyone watching. And then here's a picture of us. So lastly, here's my website. So in order to protect people's contact information, their privacy, there is a password to access the directory portion of my website. So if you're on a desktop, the password is space, capital P, Prez Girl, and if you're on a mobile device, it's just capital P, Prez Girl. So the way it works, so this is the front page. You might have got my project. You can sign up to be a part of it, just some general information about me. And then I have FAQs, and then the directory portion. Let me see, Miss Reese has to sign in.
Very secure.
So the way I organized it is I separated it into science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So if you're interested in someone in the science field, you would click science. And then I have it organized by broader categories, and then there are people's names, where they work, their phone number, email address, if they're open to job shadows, and how you can contact them. So I have about 60 names total. So that was really awesome. And I hope for the future of this that Press Girls can just use it as a resource and an extra tool that they can use for their future to learn about networking, feminism, STEM, women in STEM, and overall just meet some really awesome people.